Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Akashic Portal Insights Weekly. We're looking at the week of May 18th through the 24th. Wow, May is moving very rapidly. I'm Jen Duchene, and I'm using the illuminating journey cards that I created with the help of the Akashic records. And I am an Akashic reader, healer, teacher, a numerologist. I believe that when we connect to the energetic truth of our souls, that free will, then we can shift our perceptions and our experiences here on Earth. Let's get started. I have the cards ready. So, first card is the number 9. I'm just making sure it really is the 9 and not the 6. So, very interesting. May is the 9 month, and 9 is about completion, endings. It's also when I look at the number, when I look at the shape, it kind of feels like we're being propelled into a new space. When you think about 9, because it is the final root number, so it's the most powerful of all root numbers because it contains the wisdom of all the numbers before. 1 through 8 are held in the 9. And what the 9 teaches us is not just compassion, and when I say just, I mean compassion's a big thing, right? It teaches us to be more wholesome in the sense that we embrace what is and we recognize that we're connected to everything, just like the COVID virus is teaching us that when one person takes an action, it impacts someone else. So there's enormous spiritual lessons that we're learning from this time. And all of us are getting different awarenesses or realizing or maybe rejecting things, right? So 9 it's a culmination. It's this time of being full up with all of this information, all of this experience we've had over the ages, and we're moving into a new experience. So what we're being asked to do is to take what we value from this culmination. What have we learned that is rich and precious and meaningful, that's going to help us move forward into a new energy? The thing about the 9 that's so interesting is it's considered the number of, well, I see it as the number of the ego in a sense, because the ego is needed, right? We can't live in a human world without our ego, but how we need to live with our ego is to live, use the ego as the way, the vehicle to express the truth of who we are, right? The culmination or the interpretation of what we believe in and our creative energies, like what we want to express out into the world, what we want to experience, what we want to do and how we want to do it. That's all related to the 9. And by recognizing that we're all connected and each of us has value, so we don't need to control someone else's value. We just need to take what we connect with, and we need to share who we are, whatever feels aligned to us, so others can take what they're connected to. And that's how we kind of learn to work with each other, just like with this virus, right? We're all here, we're all having a different experience. Some of us are very, very, expressive. Some of us are less so. Some of us are angry about other people, whether they're wearing masks, they're not wearing masks, they believe it, they don't believe it. So we have all kinds of opinions, all kinds of expression, and we get to decide how we distill what is truly our expression and how we put it out into the world, whether it's through art or through the words we use or the work we do. It doesn't matter. These are just different ways of being in the world, and how we take that value and really kind of bring our being to life, how we connect with others, how we see and relate to the world and to the energies of source and earth together. So very exciting that we have that kind of idea. It's ending and it's also a new beginning. It's the rising of our wisdom so we can discern what is absolute truth to us. The second card is, and that's so interesting, right? So we had a number, which is the 9, and then the second card is one of the tools. So this deck contains numbers, tools, and portals. And I love this tool because what tools do is they take a situation like what I've just described with the 9, right? The situation is we're at the culmination. We're at this place where we must choose to express our passion, our liveliness out in the world, in whatever way works for us, and adapt it within the environment we're in or not. And then the tool here, which is water. It says here, potion for motion. I don't know if you can read what it says. It's very vibrant when you think about how do I use a tool like this? How do I use water to shift my perception, move me into a new place, take what I've culminated and move forward? And what comes to mind is the idea of when you have those things, like those paper things or those little sponges that are all dehydrated, or even food, they're all dehydrated, and then you add water and then they expand. And it's kind of like this, you're taking everything that has fulmination, everything that has essence to you, and you're going to add water, you're going to add liquid, you're going to bring energy into this, bring life. Water brings life. So what do you want to bring life to? What is a powerful seed or this kind of dried up thing that has so much value to you that you now want to bring out and express and fulfill? Perhaps it's a passion that you've had that you've never expressed. Perhaps you want to express it in a different way. Maybe it's even a way of connecting to people, because we are in a year of not only awakening, but also connecting in new ways, relating to the world in a different way, relating to who we are and how we relate to the source and to earth. Like, how do we bring intuition into matter, right? And so this idea of taking that desiccation and bringing it back to life, what will that look like for you? Or bringing it to life, you've discovered this, you have this potency, how are you going to activate that potency in the world? And then card 3, we have another number 2, so that's really fascinating. We have the black, which is the all colors, or contains everything on the kind of darker spectrum. Then we have the liquid, the water. So you add water into something like this, the 9, you bring it into life, it spills everywhere, and then you come into the orange, which is very much the energy of creativity, right? So from the kind of from everything that is, from everything that you may have hidden or suppressed or has culminated, you move into adding water, adding liquid, adding life, to expressing your belonging, your connection, how you are when you feel like you are kind of in the middle of everything, right? In the middle of who you are, in the middle of everyone else's beliefs, finding your equilibrium, your neutrality, the essence of who you are, that you can now go out and express, how you can connect with others, and indeed connect with your environment, with your divinity, your soul, your spirit, your emotions, how you kind of put that out in the world. So it feels very much like when I'm looking at this reading of these cards that have come up today, very much feels like it is an invitation to now take what feels perhaps suppressed or convoluted or frustration, right? The sense of I'm frustrated, I don't know what to do, I don't know what this time is, I don't know what anything means, and how to add water, how to liquidize and bring to life what feels relevant, what feels like you, in your own voice, in your own way, how do you kind of bridge the divide? How do you go beyond, oh, I'm supposed to do this, it's supposed to look like that, now it doesn't, I don't know what to do? How do you kind of step over that, go beyond that, push yourself into a different space where you can understand the power of the two, the power of connecting, finding the, instead of being extreme polarities, finding that place where you belong, where you feel connected, where you can set your boundaries, you can surrender to your inner power, to the way you want to be expressed in the world. It feels very powerful and at the same time very delicate. So it's very sweet, but it's also very strong. And it feels like the way we need to go forward. Like so many of us have perhaps surrendered our inner power, our intellect, our curiosity about things so that we could fit in. And that's kind of the shadow of the two. I'm going to do what you need me to do so that I can belong and you can think I'm valuable, I'm good to know, and kind of turn it on its head, right? We're going to turn that energy on its head and go, this is what I have to express. This is what I've realized. This is what I know now. This is the wisdom I am holding, the seed of wisdom I'm holding, the awareness I know of what it means to really belong on a much bigger level to the world and to be connected. Like, how do I express that? How do I express my wisdom, my knowledge, my delight in the world? By using liquid, right? By going forward, adding water, whatever that is, adding that liquid that kind of brings the meaning, really soaks it in and spreads it out and shows you I can make those connections, I can do those things, I can express who I am, I can ask for what I want, and feel safe in that, right? Safe to express that very delight, to express your energy of where your boundaries or limits end so that you can manipulate this container of who you are in a much more vibrant, delightful, and liberated way. So that's the reading for this week. I would love to hear what comes up for you. What do you think? Is there something that's burning inside of you that wants to be expressed, and how can you express it? How can you put aside some of the chains and some of the burdens that have been kind of placed on you? How can you kind of push them out of the way and turn everything on its head so you can step forward, move out of this idea of feeling stuck because of what the world is doing to you or what circumstances are presenting, and kind of just move out of it with this incredible power pack of these three energies into being or feeling your way through this week that will give you strong grounding for moving forward. I'm Jen Duchene of jenduchene.com. Please like and subscribe if you want more of these videos. And if you're interested in purchasing the cards or having a reading or learning how to read their Akashic records, I will have all of that information below. Till next time.